Check, check. Mic check. Hear me okay? Hear me okay? Okay, it's working good. Wow, guys. I have to restart my computer. This is like, I've been, oh man. Ever since I've realized that there was glass in the sky, from 2003, I've been waiting, praying for a day like this to happen. Now, I don't want to get my hopes up too high, because if this turns out to be some kind of object thrown from an airplane or something, but the way it looks, it was really cold. It's yellowish like Libyan desert glass. So if they do comparative analysis against the Libyan desert glass, and they found out that it's the same elements, same structure, has birefringence to it, has the carbon tubings to it, has all the elements that the Libyan desert glass has. If they find out that it's like that, then, my friends, we have a match. It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's Libyan colored. Oh wow. I don't know what to say. I'm in shock, really. I don't know if I should cry or what.
As I didn't research, I didn't. Well, I've been waiting for this day. On my Google alerts, I have glass in the sky. And I just checked my Google email, and
it fell in
glass.
It looks like it fell in Australia, because this article is from Melbourne, I believe. I didn't even. I was so excited, I didn't even check for sure. Looks like it's in Melbourne. Let's see, southeast and peninsula. Let's do a quick Google search on this one, pub, Pakenham pub. Let's see if it's in Australia somewhere. Pakenham Hotel. Is that it? Do they call this a hotel as well? Yeah, there's a hotel there. Australia, how fitting, huh? Australia. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, totally fitting. Pakenham Pub, Australia. Get this chat window going here. Confectum. Confetti.
Fell from the sky. Now, mind you, I just came upon this. I didn't research. I didn't find out whether or not it's actually, somebody like threw it from an airplane or something like that. But I'm just gonna read this to you guys. Pub staff left baffled by unidentified flying object. Is it glass? Is it something from outer space? This is the object staff at Pakenham Inn saw hurtle through the air and strike a car. Staff at Pakenham Pub had been left baffled after an unidentified flying object fell into their car park. The golf ball-sized object hit a car at the Pakenham Inn at about 8:30.
I wonder if there's any other articles about it. You know, like multiple reports.
Have your say. What do you think the object could be?
Let's see.
Is this a magic
Glass
outside?
sky.
Cold to the touch. She said if it had hit her, she would have been seriously injured. I don't know what it is. It's really weird. She said.
No, just that
I went
one.
out there to let a staff member
Pakenham
this
Inn.
morning and
Pakenham
that
Inn.
this thing came flying out of the sky. I'm not even exaggerating. It hit my car, it did damage to the car, and then it hit the wall of the hotel, and then it smashed. Sounded like a gun going off. Yeah, you know how when like a cray meteors fall, they make a big sound. So this is indicative. It came from a very high altitude at a very high velocity. If it had been hit at the speed it came down, I would not like to think it would have happened. It just narrowly missed us. It definitely came out of the sky. There was nothing else happening around us.
There!
Fleming said they would have the object tested. Pakenham police said
Who's your clown now, assholes? There's glass in the sky. I told you so.
Pretty sure. Like I said, it's hard to do research on it.
I don't want to say I told you so. Actually, I do want to say I told you so.
Because I've been waiting for an event like this to happen.
Oh,
Actually,
sorry.
Glass falls down from the sky.
I can't get too excited yet.
This actually is a piece of the glass sky.
All the assholes, all the ridicule.
What does that say?
Oh my God.
Since 2003,
What I had to put up with
glass above
from humanity.
in the concave Earth.
It's amazing.
Flat Earthers try to steal my ideas. I say this is last It's not flat, guys. It's not a dome. It's a convex seal.
Madison Sears.
You're in the concave circle Earth. And this one looks like it's yellow. And it's a good indication that the living does glass is yellow.
Well, the end is nigh. Once the whole world figures out that there's glass in the sky and that the earth is concave, the end is nigh. I shall become exalted very soon. Yes, I will.
Well, I've been waiting for this day. On my Google alerts, I have glass in the sky. And I just checked my Google email. And this appeared. Glass fell from the sky. Now, mind you, I was
Sorry, I'm looping this a little bit too much.
somebody
Let's play something else. How about some corn coming in? No, how about Inside Out? A good glass in the sky song. It's
Look out your window. The grass ain't green.
it's kind of yellow.
It's kinda yellow.
You see what I mean?
What I mean. Look up your chimney. The sky ain't blue.
Yeah, I said corn. We'll play it next.
Kinda yellow. You know
It's kind of yellow, you know, it's true. It's so hard to figure what it's all about.
when you're outside's in and you're downside's
So,
yeah, you're upside right. Yeah,
don't it make you want to scream and shout when you're inside out?
look down your dream pipe. What color do you see? It's got to be yellow. Don't try to fool me. Don't it make you wanna twist and shout when you're outside's in and your downside's up?
totally talking about the glass guy, the yellow glass guy. Totally talk about it. They could talk about the crystal ball and say it's yellow. Look out outside your window. Window's glass. Something like that. They know it. They know there's a yellow glass sky above our heads. And it's certainly not a dome like the flat earthers think. It's going the other way because we're in the spherical concave earth. Sorry, flat earthers, you're wrong. I'm right. Play corn. Coming undone. That video, did you see that video? The sky crumbling. Oh, a glass guy. What do you know? Heliocentric theory is coming undone. Convex Earth is spinning. Bullshit is coming undone. Flat Earth bullshit is coming undone. Oh, no problem. It's okay, good to play. looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. Let's play that again. Be right. I'll play this first.
Well, I've been waiting for this day. On my Google alerts, I have glass in the sky. And I just checked my Google email, and this appeared. Glass fell from the sky. Now, mind you, I just came upon this. I didn't research. I didn't find out whether or not it's actually, somebody like threw it from an airplane or something like that. But I'm just going to read this to you guys. Pub staff left baffled by unidentified flying object. Is it glass? Is it something from outer space? This is the object staff at Pakenham Inn saw hurtle through the air and strike a car. Staff at Pakenham Pub had been left baffled after an unidentified flying object fell into their car park. The golf ball-sized object hit a car at the Pakenham Inn at about 8:30 a.m. yesterday morning before bouncing onto a wall and shattering. Have your say. What do you think the object could be? Assistant manager Lou Fleming was outside when the object fell from the sky and said it was freezing cold to the touch. She said if it had hit her, she would have been seriously injured. I don't know what it is. It's really weird, she said. I went
Come on, play. The frick?
seriously injured. I don't know what it is. It's really weird, she said. I went out there to let a staff member in this morning, and we were standing there, and then this thing came flying out of the sky. I'm not even exaggerating. It hit my car, it did damage to the car, and then it hit the wall of the hotel, and then it smashed. It sounded like a gun going off. Yeah, you know how when mega-cray meteors fall, they make a big sound, so this is indicative that it came from a very high altitude at a very high velocity. If it had been hit at the speed it came down, I would not like to think it would have happened. It just narrowly missed us. It definitely came out of the sky. There was nothing else happening around us. Nothing was broken. Miss Fleming said they would have the object tested. Pakenham police said there had been no reports of odd behavior or explosions near the pub at that time. Monash University Associate Professor Michael Brown said, judging by photos, the object was almost certainly not a meteorite. Speaks of the glass sky. I'm pretty certain of that, unless, like I said, I just found this article. I didn't do research on about it. I didn't do any research about it, but I'm just going to throw it out there, guys. Because I've been waiting for an event like this to happen, where an actual piece of glass falls down from the sky, just like it did in the Libyan desert thousands of years ago. And if this actually is a piece of the glass sky, what does that say? What does that say about what I've been telling you for years? Since 2003, I've been telling people that there's glass above us in the concave earth. Okay? Flat earthers try to steal my ideas. I say there's a glass. No, it's not flat, guys. It's not a dome. It's a convex ceiling. You're in the concave spherical earth. And this one looks like it's yellow. And it's a good indication because the Libyan desert glass is yellow. So, later, guys. There's totally a glass sky, folks. Totally a glass sky. Well, I've been waiting for this day.
Look at all this evidence.
On my Google alerts, I have glass in this.
Hi, how you doing? Have you heard the news?
Rainbows.
Has everybody here heard the news?
Circumzenith arcs.
Glass fell from
Optics.
the sky in Australia.
Created by sunlight passing through glass and being projected into water vapor. Oh, Romans 8:36. Thanks, Fist. Number 2, Libyan desert glass. The mystery of where it came from is solved if you realize that there's a glass ceiling in the sky. To the sky. Excuse me.
In Australia, yeah, I'll give you the link for it.
That's because there's Crookes star space. I'll get to that later. Number 3, tektite origin. You guys know what tektites are? That's another mystery. Scientists, they don't know where the tektites are coming from. They don't know if it's coming from the ground because there's no impact craters where they find them, or if it's coming from space. They don't know. Number 4, megacryometeor origin. Large chunks of ice that fall down from the sky randomly, infrequently, but more frequently lately. Now we know where they're coming from. There's actually a whole ice sheet connected to the glass sky. For you were as sheep gone astray, but now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your souls. Amen. Number 5, birefringence. Birefringence is created through different glasses, different types of material like calcite, where it actually projects a double image, a double refracting image. So sometimes you'll see double suns in the sky. Sometimes you'll see a quadruple rainbow where it's like an offset, like there's another rainbow that's displaced a little bit from the original rainbow. Or you'll see a comet's tail splitting like that. That's all because you're viewing these phenomena through a birefringent glass sky that at certain rotation angles of the sun, because it's polarized in a certain direction, sometimes casts a double image. It's a very weak birefringence. They found it in the Libyan desert glass. They found weak birefringence. But at certain times, at certain angles, it will appear. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and they will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered, in the cloudy and dark day. Cloudy and dark day. It's coming up, guys. 6, ozone. Ozone. Did you realize that ozone is actually generated with the help of the glass sky? And that fresh scent that you smell after thunderstorms? That's the same fresh scent that's replicated in air ionizers with glass plates. The glass actually helps manufacture that fresh scent. Fusion crust. Meteorites are covered with fusion crust. Fusion crust is burnt glass. That means that meteors are melting through the glass and getting covered by burnt glass, by a fusion crust. Colorizing of clouds. Sometimes you'll see clouds that have like a rainbow pattern to them, or reddening of the clouds at the horizon. That's all due to the glass, which casts different colors through different regions of the sky. That's what glass does, folks. Glass disperses the white light. Yeah, the fresh scent after the long cut, that's a good smell. Fist. Greenhouse effect, number 9. Obviously, a greenhouse has a glass ceiling. Same thing with our sky, has a glass ceiling. It traps air, hot air, infrared heat. Number 10, the Kármán line. That is the line at 100 kilometers is said to be the division line between the atmosphere and space. Interesting. That's the same height as the glass sky. Number 11, ultraviolet radiation block, UV block. Did you know our atmosphere blocks out a lot of ultraviolet light? And did you also know that glass blocks out ultraviolet light? Did you know that? Number 12, lightning. If you ever watched an Eric Dollard seminar, you'll realize that lightning is created by dielectric forces moving laterally near glass. Lightning doesn't form from the top down or the bottom up. It actually forms from the sides. The dielectric forces in direct perpendicular positioning of the electromagnetic forces. Number 13, elves and upper atmospheric lightning. Sprites are called upper atmospheric lightning, and so are elves. Elves are the top of the sprites, and they taper off. They stop. They create this plume at 100 kilometers. That's the height of the glass sky. Number 14, shortwave radio, ham radio. It scatters at 100 kilometers. They compare the ionosphere to a sheet of glass. Well, there's no need really to compare it to a sheet of glass because it actually is a sheet of glass. That accentuates the radio waves and passes them along to the other side of the inside of the Earth. Oh, it's a tab happy guest. Number 15, Operation Fishbowl. You guys remember Operation Fishbowl in 1962? Maybe you weren't alive back then. Starfish Prime. Well, I don't believe they have nuclear weapons, but they said they launched a high-altitude nuclear weapon that exploded at 400 kilometers, and there was an auroral display visible from Hawaii and many other places. See, auroras are created because there's glass. So they burst a hole in the glass sky back then. Operation Fishbowl, does that sound a little bit fishy to you? Well, it should. Number 16. Superior mirages, fata morganas. You know that sometimes at the horizon you'll see this horizontal crease at the edge, and it looks like the sun is going down and going up. It has like a double image to it. Well, that's because the glass actually, due to refraction, creates a horizontal crease, and sometimes it's visible at higher latitudes. Number 17. Meteor showers, iridium flares. That's all it is, guys. It's the cyclical skidding of inner space debris, particles skidding, creating streaks. There's also a term called triboluminescence. When you rub quartz together, or you rub a rock against quartz, it will light up. So when you see shooting stars, meteor showers, it's because they're skidding across the glass sky. That's all it is, guys. Number 18. Redshift. You've probably heard that you've been told that the universe is expanding because they see the redshift of the stars. Well, nothing can be further from the truth. What they don't understand is that there's actually two layers of glass, one at the 100-kilometer level and the other at the celestial sphere level. So you're viewing the stars through two layers of glass, and it's creating chromatic aberration. It's creating the colors. It's creating the shifting. That's all it is. It does not indicate movement away from you. They say it's like the Doppler effect. There's nothing further from the truth. All stellar spectroscopy is debunked due to scientists ignoring chromatic aberration of stars caused by glass. Number 19, aberration of light, stellar aberration. Sometimes astronomers will see slight movement in this, like a displacement in the sky and the stars, and that's only because the glass sky, it creates a slight apparent displacement of stars due to the refraction. Number 20, space vehicle heat shields, re-entry or entry. They have flush bottoms. They have high temperature resistant material like carbon-carbon matrix used to melt through the glass. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. Yes, Genesis chapter 9, verse 13. The glass sky was formed after the flood, the global flood, ladies and gentlemen. Prior to the flood, there wasn't a glass sky. But we needed, within the concave earth, within this pressurized system, we needed to push. God needed to push the waters down. So he compressed the atmosphere with the glass sky. That's why the rainbow is a promise. It's a scientific promise that the earth, the continents, can never be flooded again, because there's more pressure now. There's more compression. 21 Crookes dark space. There's a man named Crook in the 1800s who found negative charged ions create dark space around glass tubes. It's the same thing with our glass sky. If you read Job chapter 38, verse 19. And as for darkness, where is the place thereof? See, it's hidden. Deep beneath the cover is another perfect wonder, and it's so white as snow. 22 auroras. It's at 100 kilometers. The bottom edge, the bottom end of auroras is at 100 kilometers. The electrons from the sun hit the charged glass sky, causing fluorescent glow and striations. Exit the matrix of deception, people. There is glass in the sky, in the concave earth.
So do you realize that this falling of glass from the sky, if proven out to be of a mysterious origin, and if it's similar to Libyan desert glass, do you realize how shattering people's worldview will become? Do you realize that the people will start looking to me and realizing that I was right all along? All the absorption of all the ridicule that I've endured. 12 years telling people that there's a glass ceiling to the sky. And very few people believe me.
And I just...
Do I want them to stampede? I don't know. But, there's probably going to be some sort of stampede. An avalanche, as Sufjan Stevens puts it. It's going to be an avalanche. Play that song. Avalanche. Sufjan Stevens. Well, Christ does mean crystal. Right? Wouldn't the Christ be telling the whole world that there's a crystal sky? I think so. I think so.
I call you gather neighbors, I call you once my friends, but I trust when you labor and put my head to rest. But I was on the hedge, I was on the edge.
People have made strides. My followers have made strides. Joseph Winthrop went out and conducted laser studies, geodetic laser studies along lakes. He showed that the water is actually curving upward. I'm here to disseminate the message. I'm not here to do tests. The message of the kingdom, that of Christ, destruction's at hand. Earth is There's concave and there's glass in the sky. Who are you?
I took a train from Virginia to Illinois, my home. He said, I knew you had it in you, the mind to make its own. But I was on the patch, riding on the avalanche. I tried
No,
to
son, I'm not
take
gay.
it back. I was on the floor.
Let me quote a quote for you from Dresden James. When a well-packaged web of lies has been sold gradually to the masses over generations, the truth will seem utterly preposterous, and its speaker a raving lunatic.
Come on, face. Come on, street. Come on, stay.
Yes, I agree. Societal moral adherence. Well, it's going to be relevant to everybody really soon. Let's watch this again. Well, I've been waiting for this day. On my Google alerts, I have glass in the sky. And I just checked my Google email, and this appeared. Glass fell from the sky. Now, mind you, I just came upon this. I didn't research. I didn't find out whether or not it's actually, somebody like threw it from an airplane or something like that. But I'm just going to read this to you guys. Pub staff left baffled by unidentified flying object. Is it glass? Is it something from outer space? This is the object staff at Pakenham Inn saw hurtle through the air and strike a car. Staff at Pakenham Pub had been left baffled after an unidentified flying object fell into their car park. The golf ball-sized object hit a car at the Pakenham Inn at about 8:30 a.m. yesterday morning before bouncing onto a wall and shattering. Have your say. What do you think the object could be? Assistant Manager Lou Fleming was outside when the object fell from the sky and said it was freezing cold to the touch. She said if it had hit her, she would have been seriously injured. I don't know what it is. It's really weird, she said. I went out there to let a staff member in this morning, and we were standing there, and then this thing came flying out of the sky. I'm not even exaggerating. It hit my car, it did damage to the car, and then it hit the wall of the hotel, and then it smashed. It sounded like a gun going off. Yeah, you know how when you make a crane meteor. You don't understand. The kingdom of God is at hand.
This is indicative.
Destruction is nigh.
Very high altitude.
There's going to be martial law.
Very high velocity. It had been hit at the
People
speed
won't have
it came, and you would
opportunity
not like to think it would have happened. Just
To conduct themselves immorally.
It definitely came out of the sky. There was nothing else happening around us. Nothing was moving. Ms. Fleming said they would have the object tested. Pakenham
My
police
girlfriend
said
is sleeping
there had
right
been
now.
no reports of odd behavior or explosions near the pub at that time. Monash University Associate Professor Michael Brown said, judging by photos, the object was almost certainly not a meteorite. Speaks of the last guy. Pretty certain of that, unless, like I said, I just found this article. I didn't do research on it. I didn't do any research about it, but I'm just going to throw it out there, guys. Because I've been waiting for an event like this to happen, where an actual piece of glass falls down from the sky, just like it did in the Libyan desert thousands of years ago. And it
This actually is a piece of the glass sky. What does that say? What does that say about what I've been telling you for years? Since 2003, I've been telling people that there's glass above us in the concave Earth. Okay? Flat Earthers try to steal my ideas. I say there's a glass dome. It's not flat, guys. It's not a dome. It's a convex ceiling in the concave circle Earth. And this one looks like it's yellow. It's a good indication of the looking at those glasses yellow. So, later, guys. Well, today in the Daily Mail, and actually over the past 2 or 3 days, there have been 2 specific
Results confirmation
of cosmology that have
Everything that I've been talking about.
that I've been telling you for years now. One is that they're questioning, is dark matter a fluid?
I'm telling you that dark matter is actually dark
Watch my
water,
videos, you'll know that I say that
and that stars are
dark matter
sound.
is simply dark water.
It's all coming together,
In
guys.
Psalm 18 it talks about the dark waters of the sky. Dark water and the thick clouds being the nebula, but
Martial law, I know.
videos.
It's necessary for the
Concave
implementation of
reality,
the kingdom
guys.
of God.
Is dark matter a fluid? Mystery
don't understand
particles
anything
are
about
mapped into
authority.
Galaxy clusters, but results suggest they may not.
The kingdom
be
of God is
particles
an
at
imminent
all.
kingdom. It means in the flesh.
Could instead be like a fluid. I'll leave the link to this
It means the
article.
Christ, me,
A number of theories ranging from it being a fluid. Dr. Massey.
will reign over
Now, the
you.
dark matter
And I will
enigma
use the military
is
of the
simply
world
dark waters. Read
to
Psalm
instill the
18, verse
kingdom.
1, dark waters. Okay? So, if you understand that the spiral galaxies are
History
actually
has not
encased in
included
water,
me.
it's a homogeneous, it's an
It's going to be different
isotropic
this time.
medium in which it causes everything within that spiral cluster to have the same rotational speed, if there's any speed. Currently, because I believe what happened during the flood is that the windows of heaven were open. This thing simulates the glass firmament above that's holding the celestial ocean. Not the firmament at 100 kilometers, the higher one, the initial one, okay? And so there was sand in this initial firmament before the flood. And then when it says the windows of heaven were opened, the sonoluminescent stars, there were many that clustered together, and they're creating
better?
there's a lot of heat, okay? It's creating nuclear fusion or whatever. It's
Talking about
it's
global
burning- it
martial
burned
law here,
a
guest.
hole Through
Global
the glass sky. That's
martial
that's why it says
law.
the windows of heaven were opened. So the water got hot, the sonoluminescent stars got hot, and they burned a hole. I'm going to pour this heavy whipping cream to simulate
Nothing
the nebula.
like
Nebula
that
means
has ever
cloud,
happened
remember?
before. It's
It's just a
unprecedented.
cloud. Cluster of clouds, okay? So now, when the windows of heaven were opened, obviously,
Oh, yes,
trained
it
this.
is.
That's why we have spiral galaxies.
It will be.
Because they are
I guarantee you that.
the drain there. Stop. It's still spinning. There it is. There's your dark matter. Dark matter is dark waters.
Come to judge humanity.
All because
It's the whole concept of Christ coming back the second time is to judge humanity.
the celestial sphere up in the middle of
And
the
he
earth
will
is
use
dark.
military force to judge humanity.
Nebula
Absolutely.
means clouds. Okay, everything is
I will use military force to
dark
judge
matter is
humanity.
a mystery
Absolutely.
solved once again. You understand? So the windows of heaven were actually closed.
People are in for a
because
big
the heat
fucking
subsided
shock, I'll tell you that
and the
right now.
glass firmament sealed back up. So the remnant, the spiral remnant, is left behind. That's all it is, guys.
And the other topic involves this study about sound being from stars. Do stars make sound? Like I told you, well, yeah, there's sonoluminescent bubbles, and sonoluminescence is star. Do stars make a sound? This one's from 3 days ago. Here's another article. Do stars make a sound? Researchers say yes. Here's another one. Stars produce sound. So it looks like, I think they're watching.
slowly leaking out the truth, guys. Concave Earth reality, right there. It feels kind of good. Only I wish they would start acknowledging me more overtly now. Ciao, guys.
Of the earth. And I'm drawing these dots to signify stars. The stars are very tiny. The stars are created by a term called luminescence. Luminescence, which is basically nuclear fusion, but at a very small scale. It can be created in a laboratory in a jar, a beaker, not a jar, but
Get the fuck out of here.
a glass beaker in water. Okay, so basically, this beaker, when you are penetrating sound effects, it's creating this little spark of light inside the liquid, inside a beaker. So sonoluminescence is the idea of bombarding the center of this liquid with the sound, and it creates a universal bubble of light.
I'm sick and tired of hearing things from uptight, short-sighted, narrow-minded hypocrites. All I want is the truth. Just give me some truth. I've had enough of reading things by neurotic, psychotic, pig-headed politicians. All I want is the truth. Just give me some truth. No short head, yellow belly, son of tricky dick is gonna mother Hubbard's up. So me for just a pocket full of hope. Money for dough, money for road. Woo!
Okay, let's bust Mark Sargent and his flight time, his supposed flat Earth flight time bullshit. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's actually psyops and he's not that stupid. And what's really sad though is all the people that are liking his video and believing him, because that to me is telling of their fatuousness. But anyway, let's
down to make the math.
watch this.
Regardless, the total miles for this flight is almost double what should be expected, coming in at 13,600.
Okay, he's talking about going from what's he saying? Cape Town, South Africa to Auckland.
Phenomena that Einstein first predicted in 1937, though he said it would never be observed. He underestimated observers. If you look at this picture, you'll see these blue things, these weird blue things. That is a phenomenon that we now understand as gravitational lensing. Einstein told us that a mass will curve space around it. And he realized, therefore, if you had a big enough mass and you have a source of light behind that mass, the light can bend around that object and come back and be magnified, just like my glasses magnify things. Or, like a cut glass goblet, if you look through it, I'd see many images of this room. Mass can act like a lens and magnify things and split images, and that's precisely what we're seeing. All of these blue things are different images of a single galaxy located about 3 billion light years behind this cluster. Gravity is magnifying the image, distorting it, and bending it. Remarkable. Truly remarkable. But because we understand general relativity, we can work backwards.
During the time of the flood, these sonoluminescent stars, they clustered together and they became very hot. And they began to melt through the glass celestial firmament and creating these little pockets, these little indentations and openings. The windows of heaven were opened, right? The windows of heaven were opened, and so the water came down. The water also came up from the fountains of the deep of the earth. So we had water coming down and water coming up. And so after the water came down and after the sand came down too, the sand is what created this secondary firmament at 100 kilometers, which actually pushed the water down. That's why we have the rainbow, because the sun is within this region here. So the sun is only a half sphere. Everything is operating on curved light. And so that's why we see rainbows, because the sun is being dispersed through this glass medium and being projected onto the raindrops. The raindrops are not the source of the rainbow. But anyway, going back to the celestial sphere, glass sky, it healed back together. So it closed up. The windows of heaven were closed after the great flood. So now you have these indentations, these peaks and valleys. This glass celestial firmament, because of the way it had been ruptured, it had been opened up, and then it healed back together, it's not perfectly smooth like that. It's more like this glass here.
Let's go back now to the two-dimensional pattern of the CMB map. There are things we can do with that as well. First one is lensing. Deflection of light by matter is well observed in astronomy. This has to be done with a simulation. Simulate what the cosmic background would look like with this 6-parameter model, fits Planck data, but the cosmic background. Here's a patch of sky 10 degrees across. And now add intervening matter, add in the rest of the universe. How would this pattern change? Catch that? Unlensed, unaffected by intervening matter, and affected by intervening matter. The lensing rearranges the CMB pattern a little bit.
There's no need to have mass act like lens when there actually is a lens. A cut glass goblet lens of the celestial sphere, damaged after the flood.
Here's an inversion by Tony Tyson, who's now up in Davis. This is this system, and the spikes are where this is where the mass is in this system. The spikes are where the galaxies are. But you notice most of the mass in this whole system of clusters of galaxies is not where the galaxies are. It's between the galaxies. It's where nothing is shining. About 50 times as much mass in this system, and in all systems we can measure, comes from stuff that doesn't shine. And physicists, with their linguistic perspicacity, have called it dark matter.
Tiny bubbles and wine.
Tiny bubbles. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Tiny bubbles. Stars are as big as grains of sand. I'm not kidding you. Fraudulent astronomy is in big trouble. You astronomer, are either a fool or a liar. Now, if you're a fool, there's a little bit of grace for you because you didn't know. You're just stupid, ignorant. But if you're a liar, you're in big trouble because you've been deceiving the public, and you're going to have to face me at judgment time. You liars. You know that the stars are up in the middle of the concave Earth in the celestial sphere, a literal celestial crystalline sphere that contains water, contains the celestial ocean, and the stars are created by a process called multi-bubble sonoluminescence.
When physicists have an important number, they give it a Greek letter all the time. So we call it omega. Omega is the ratio of the total amount of stuff we know is in the universe divided by the amount of stuff you need to make a flat universe. The boundary between an open and closed universe. If it's less than 1, the universe is open. If it's greater than 1, the universe is closed.
Some kind of jelly fungus.
And we have now measured unambiguously that there's only 30% of the amount of material in the universe, including dark matter, to make the universe flat. This is a real problematic number. We now know the universe has only 1/3 the amount of matter to make it flat. The problem is that theorists like me knew the answer. The universe must be flat. Why? Well, there are 2 reasons. There's the one I normally say, which is it's the only mathematically beautiful universe, which is true. But there's another reason I don't usually talk about, but I'll talk about here. It turns out that in a flat universe, the total energy of the universe is precisely 0. Because gravity can have negative energy. So the negative energy of gravity balances out the positive energy of matter. What's so beautiful about a universe with total energy 0? Well, only such a universe can begin from nothing. And that is remarkable. Because the laws of physics allow a universe to begin from nothing. You don't need a deity. You have nothing, 0 total energy, and quantum fluctuations can produce a universe. So if the universe isn't flat, we're worried. Because then you've got energy at the bigger beginning of time. So that was another reason that people like me were pretty sure the universe was flat. But the damn observers came up with the wrong number. But the damn observers came up with the wrong number.
Well, if the damn observers come up with the wrong number, just make shit up.
Radiation coming at that surface. On this surface is a very important scale, 1 degree. Why 1 degree? Because that represents a distance of 100,000 light years. Now, the surface existed when the universe was 100,000 years old, and Einstein tells us no information can propagate faster than light. So that means nothing that happened over here at that time could ever affect anything that happens over here. But more importantly, if I have a lump of matter that's this big across at that time, it doesn't even know it's a lump, because gravity can't have traveled across it. So it's like Wile E. Coyote in those cartoons when he goes off the cliff. He waits a while before he collapses, okay? And such large lumps won't collapse. So the biggest lumps that can have collapsed at that time will be 1 degree across, and that gives us a cosmic triangle. Because we have a ruler that's 100,000 light years across.
A couple assumptions there, Larry, that you are totally erroneous about. Number one, you're making the assumption, the uniformitarianism assumption, that things happen gradually over time. 14 billion years old. Dear Lord. No, the universe is quite young, happened very catastrophically with cavitation. But anyway, going back to your 100,000 year 1 degree scenario, I mean, do you not even understand? Have you ever heard of the concept of the concave Earth? This is not Earth. No. And this wall that you talk about is the celestial sphere. It's the wall, it's the dark waters and the thick clouds of the celestial sphere, which contains water. And this is glass, crystalline glass, okay? The stars are embedded in here. That's where the sonoluminescence is coming from. That's the wall. That's the wall there. And then a concave Earth. Okay, you're inside the Earth. You have the glass skies. Okay? You're looking, this 1 degree that you're talking about is minute. Okay? It's not 100,000 light years. The celestial sphere is approximately, let's say, 15,000 kilometers in circumference. That's it. So 1 degree is only going to be 150 kilometers. So if you're measuring 1 degree and you're putting triangulation coordinates on 1 degree of 150 kilometers, it's relatively small. But you stretch it across 100,000 light years. It's asinine. There is no light years, Larry. Wake up. Wake up, man. You've been drugged. You're living inside the concave Earth. This wall is the dark waters, the thick clouds of the celestial sphere. The heavenly pyramid is above that. You don't see that. That's what's going on there. The universe is not flat. And you say light. No, light bends, Larry. Light bends. You ever hear Wilhelm Martin? He showed geodetically that light bends. So you're wrong. The universe is not flat, and if you're really going to worry about that there is a deity, then, just, I'll let you know I'm a nice guy, but, judgment's coming. Because the sun's going to stop soon. But the universe is definitely not flat, so no matter how many calisthenics you do and contortions you do and try to imagine it being flat, wanting it to be flat, maybe if you pray really hard, it'll be flat.
So this triangulation method, this desperation to show that it's flat, you're stretching it 100,000 light years? Light years are not even existent. What's wrong with you? The CMB, the cosmic microwave background, speaks of alignment, polarization as a dipole. Celestial sphere is a band. It divides the sphere into 2 hemispheres that have opposing currents. That's what steers the sun north and south. I've explained this in previous videos. And it's telling of a deity because it is definitely not flat. It's encased in a ruptured glass. There's water on the inside. The stars are created by sonoluminescence, which means they are bubbles. Of course they're not going to have mass. Bubbles in water. The water surrounding the bubbles will have the mass. That's the dark matter. Simply dark water. And judgment's coming. Because the sun's going to stop. See, this celestial sphere contains the pyramid that generates the heat, the thermal heat to reach the sun, and there's really not much of a heat escape. There might be a little heat escape in the trapezium and the Orion Nebula, but for the most part, it's overheating. It's going to stop just like how an engine stops when it overheats. And then when it does, the sun will stop. It will cause all the ice that's attached to the glass sky at 100 kilometers high to rupture and unravel like a scroll and burn up the earth. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for judgment? Stop lying to the people. Stop insulting me. I'm not crazy. I'm telling of judgment to come, people. Repent as soon as possible and acknowledge me.